Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our first edition of Refuting Liberal Talking Points. Liberals, they have, about 10 or 12 little lines that they like to use, little talking points that they recycle, like a man recycling garbage. And they use these quite often. And a lot of times, maybe a conservative doesn't have an answer to these, but they're all old. Every once in a while they'll dust off one they haven't used for a couple years and throw that one up there. But when you get down to it, they have like 10 or 12 arguments, talking point arguments that they utilize, and it's our mission here to provide you with an answer to these. We'll add more as we go on later, but our first one, again, I'll have the relevant links off on the right side there that you can check out. For example, did Gramm-Leach-Bliley, the Financial Services and Modernization Act of 1999, deregulate the banking industry and cause our financial meltdown? Actually, Gramm-Leach-Bliley has helped soften the blow to taxpayers by allowing commercial banks to take over troubled investment firms. In addition, Bush's regulatory spending hit inflation-adjusted highs, and he signed Sarbanes-Oxley. Bush didn't engage in any deregulation, and that act signed by Clinton in 1999 and supported by over two-thirds of House and Senate Democrats didn't deregulate anything, really. So that's a canard, that's inaccurate, that's false. Another one is Bush, 9/11 was all Bush's fault. Bush failed to get bin Laden, blah, blah, blah. Actually, Clinton, and Newsmax has Bill Clinton on tape at an event in 2002 admitting this. The Sudanese gave him a couple opportunities to grab bin Laden, but he and Janet Reno passed on it. In addition, if you look to what Democrats were saying before the Iraq War vote, during the Bush administration, and even during the Clinton administration, they were awful hawkish on it. And there's numerous Democrats that have said things that come back to haunt them, but since so many liberals, their entire worldview is shaped by the antique media and the evening news, they don't know this. And when you show this to them, well, they get upset. They can't come up with an answer. Another canard that we get rid of, Republicans are responsible. Bush was responsible for gas prices getting so high. He was just padding the pockets of his oil buddies, and Cheney was padding the pockets of his cronies at Halliburton. Actually, Democrats are responsible for gas prices being so high. They block any expansion, and we linked to plenty of votes proving this, of our domestic resources. Gas prices skyrocketed after Carter enacted windfall profits taxes in 1980, for example. We haven't built an oil refinery in this country for over 30 years. Actually, the number of oil companies declined under Clinton, went from 28 to 19. He's the one that allowed these so-called monopolies, if they want to call it. Liberals hate monopolies, supposedly, unless it's the public education monopoly. And the last one for now, the Democrats are talking up this economic downturn. They're poo-pooing it as an excuse for more regulation, more nationalization. This is not the worst economy since the Great Depression. Unemployment was higher and GDP growth was much lower in 1980, 1982, and 1991. We've seen much worse times, but Democrats want to poo-poo this economic downturn as an excuse for nationalizing virtually everything. But that's not the case when you look at the stats. The problem is they don't look at the stats very often, so hopefully that'll provide you with some answers. We'll come up with more videos in the future. Have a nice day.